if you just say, hey, a man assaulted his woman, and then we have a bank robber, then we have a murderer, then we have somebody that was selling a whole bunch of drugs, he may fall at the end of that list.
Domestic violence is not high on the list. And especially if while in jail, he got his composure. So by the time they dealt with him, some people know how to play the role. So if by the time they dealt with him, he was on his P's and Q's, stood up straight, yes, sir, no, sir, cool temperament. Now, on the inside, he could have been like, as soon as I get out here. But if he was in the jail and they're already crowded and this guy is like, man, I get it. I was upset. Heat of the moment. We got in an argument. I was wrong. I'm sorry. Somebody could have just thought they were doing him a solid.
And I think so. I think for women, I think our system needs to create something like a safe space. Meaning, if the woman says, I'm in fear of my life, I don't care if she's called the police a lot. I don't care what his assault record is against her. But if she says, I'm in fear of my life, there should be some mechanism where they pull her out of the home and bring her somewhere safe. Because what I hear from a lot of women, it seems like I can't go nowhere. Like if I don't have some type of security or somebody put me in a secure space, he know where my mama live. Of course, he know where I live. I got kids with him. There's really nowhere I can go to protect me from this dude once he get out or wherever he is. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So the hard part is when you start talking about like she should have some place to go. Certain areas do. Some places have shelters or things of that nature, but that's a short-term solution. That's for the weekend. Like, but if she got a job and she got 3 kids in school and she's got the reality of it is like, she's like, I need you to do something with him. Not with me. Put me in the witness relocation program. Like, I need y'all to do something with him.
Yeah.
And what happens a lot of times in these domestic situations is the police say, okay, we've got it documented. Here's a restraining order. Here's this, that, and the third. If he comes back and does something, call us.
Yep.
But by that logic, when he hits you again, then we'll take care of it.
It's
you know what I mean? Because it can't even just be he's there. Well, I saw him. What's the restraining order? 1,000 yards. Is he more than 1,000 yards away? Yeah, he's down the street. Okay, well, he's not. Is he threatening you? No, I can just see him though. Okay, well, he's not doing anything. So when he comes closer, or if he comes in the house, or if he does something, let us know. And then, so there is not a direct there's not a real system thing in place, because the way that the law is structured, you can't get somebody for what they might do.
Yep. And that's in any situation, not just domestic violence.
Yeah. So it's kind of like, well, you need to go pick him up. Well, we got him for what he did before. And based upon our system, we let him go for whatever was going on, give him a court date, whatever. And then when you go to court, then we'll address that, because you got to remember, you're still innocent until proven guilty. So just because you get arrested for domestic violence on October 1st, arbitrary date, if your court date isn't until 2 or 3 weeks, if you were actually victimized by this person, you of course want them in jail for your safety, but legally they have not been convicted of a crime.
Yep.
So there's this gray area of like, that's what they do, restraining orders and this and things of orders of protection and that sort of stuff to kind of buffer it. But the problem is until you get a conviction, they're not a convicted abuser. They're just an accused one.
Yep.
In the same way, we don't want to be, because we got to watch that slippery slope. You don't want an accusation to be all it takes to criminalize you and punish you. Like for not even just for domestic violence, but in general. Well, he accused me of doing this. So what? So we're going to lock you up, arrest you, take your money, take your this. Well, I hadn't even been convicted yet. Well, an accusation. We don't want to start going down that road. So there's a very, it's a problematic gray area when it pertains to domestic violence.
True. So and like I said, I'm speaking about our women right now, but that happens to all women. They go through things where she ended up dying after calling 4 or 5 times. They didn't remove him from the home. But what you said makes sense, bro. I mean, the system is basing it on the level of criminality, in the threat level, and the other things they're dealing with at the time. So like taking it away from the system for a minute, like what can we do as Black men, right? So we all know we have a cousin or a sister or someone in our family who it seems like she's attracted to these dudes that's always beating their ass, right? And 40 got one of the best lines ever where he says, shit, cum is thicker than blood. Like you can get in between their spat, but she may end up taking it out on you. But if we love a woman, she in our family, we love her. Any woman around us, we should want to protect them. So how do you protect a woman from a crazy nigga? Like if he just doing what he want to do, you know they be fighting. She call you, you come over there, break it up. You come over there, get him out the house. Yeah. He back over there in 2 weeks. Like what? How do we deal with those situations?
So there's not a one-step solution. First off, let's just be real about that. And each situation is different. So if you're talking about the type of woman who, hey, Reggie done got drunk and put his hands on me, come get him up out of here. And then you get him out of there Saturday night. And then Tuesday morning, you come by and he's coming downstairs in a bathrobe, and she's making him eggs. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and that's the conversation with her. Look, okay, if you want us to put him out, we can put him out. But don't have us coming over here put him out just so he get the please, baby, please. In 48 hours, you letting him back in. Mm-hmm. So if that's what we talk, that is a particular group of people. That's not uniform. That's not everybody. If the issue is we put Reggie out on Saturday so he stays away, but he come back on Tuesday on his own. Like she don't want him Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, but he keep coming back. We are in a public forum. You can't just be saying everything on the internet, but you might have to have a conversation with Reggie.
You got to put them paws on Reggie.
You got to have a conversation with Reggie. You know what I mean? But you do want to recommend going through the proper channels. You need documentation. So for women who are dealing with the domestic stuff, whatever, so we got to go deeper than the incident. So within community, we have a lot of Black women who are committed to protecting Black men, even to their own detriment. There will be Black women who can be abused by a man and still not want him. Like, I just want him to stop abusing me, but I don't want to ruin his life. I know if I call the cops, I know how the system is with Black men. I know he's going to get railroaded. I know he just got this job and I know where he comes from. So it's just going to, reamp these other struggles he's been dealing with. And there'll be women who have been on the receiving end of abuse from him, but will still be looking out for his best interest instead of their own.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so they're not cop collars. Black women are historically not.
Very true.
And so they'll take abuse in silence and they won't go through the proper channels and the documentation to get what they need to really get Reggie up out of there. Sorry for anybody named Reggie who's going to hear this and just be feeling a certain kind of way. But, so the bigger picture, it's almost like anything. You can't just start with the symptoms. You can't fix unemployment by just saying we're about to get a job. You can't fix systemic problems by just treating the symptoms. So part of this underlying stuff is men circling around men for more than just discipline. So we're talking about how do we get involved. I don't start with women when we're talking about men being the perpetrators. I start with men because most men who are in those positions come from a self-esteem deficient space.
Okay, so that makes sense.
You don't feel good about yourself. So everything is taken as a sign of disrespect. You feel like you're catching L's everywhere in the world. And you feel like you can't, the only thing that you can impose your will upon is your woman at home.
That's what I was thinking. That's exactly what I was thinking, Jermaine, because we have a lot of brothers who like go through, especially Black men, right? We going through so much in the system. We kind of spoke about this last time where at work, you ain't nothing.
Yeah.
There's brothers that go to work and they ain't nothing. Your boss talk to you like shit. You don't really like this job. You had to take this job, but you didn't really want to. Yeah. You catching the bus to work. Maybe you seeing dudes pull up in nice ass cars. You're seeing things that you want, and it doesn't feel like you can obtain it.
Yeah.
And this goes back to even some men like harming their kids in certain ways. Like, you get inside of this house, and this is the only way this is the only place I rule everything.
Well, so
this is the only place where people gonna listen to me.
The difference is that children are more protected than your woman.
Very true.
So if you try to impose your will upon a small child, the state will come in with swift justice under the protection of the child. CPS will be in your house. The first thing they do, pull this kid out till we figure it out.
Yep.
They'll be all up in you doing interviews, all up in your business. Like, you got to they keep coming back, keep doing check-ins. They randomly show up at your house. Like, if you start touching children, you know, the state takes that differently than they do domestic stuff. So for a lot of people, there are dudes who don't hit their kids, but hit their kid's mother.
Definitely. That makes sense.
You know what I mean? But solution based. So when you start talking about how do we fix this stuff, it's it takes strengthening that within men, like supporting other men. Like I said, I don't start with women for male behavior. So for brothers out there, the first thing we think of is to chastise and to berate and to insult and to check dudes who have these types of tendencies. Part of the problem is that's usually already happened to them. They say hurt people, bullies grow up to bully. They don't have an issue typically with somebody checking them. What they typically have a problem with is somebody not uplifting them. Somebody not, you know what I mean? Like, it's the deficit that's the problem. You know, and so talking to brothers about like alternative ways to deal with stuff, solutions you found. Like, if you're somebody who's like, I don't have those feelings. Well, how? You get angry, right? Yeah. Well, what do you do with your anger? Here's what I do. You know, here are my outlets. Here's what worked for me. I'm not even saying that I'm PhD, Dr. So-and-so, whatever. Here's just what's worked for me.
Right.
You know,
And
here's
then
some alternatives. Go ahead. I thought you said something.
Then I was thinking, like, does it start as a child though? Like, because I got